right, shifting gears now to that big announcement today from the White House. It is stepping up pressure on Russia, imposing more than 500 new sanctions to mark 2 years since Vladimir Putin's forces invaded Ukraine. The sanctions target Russian finance and defense and aim to upend Putin's war efforts. It's the biggest single round of sanctions since the war started on February 24th, 2022. It comes just 1 week after the death of opposition leader Alexei Navalny in a Russian penal colony. The White House also imposed sanctions on 3 individuals in connection with Navalny's death. And the Biden administration says it's not stopping there to hold the Kremlin accountable and expects that Russia will feel the pain of the sanctions for years to come.
They're going to have a growing and long-term impact on Russia, its ability to modernize its industries, whether it's its defense industry, aeronautics, energy extraction, all of the technology that's being denied it as a result of its actions.
On the ground, Ukraine is relying on weapons and aid from the United States to keep fighting against Russia, aid that is now on hold in Congress. Well, joining us now for more on all this is former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, William Taylor. Ambassador, great to have you here. Got to ask you, there's a real question of how much these sanctions are actually achieving. I mean, 2 years after the initial sanctions, Russia's economy is resilient. It's selling oil to China, to India, to Brazil. The IMF said the Russian economy was growing faster than expected.
It is growing faster than expected, Elizabeth. You're exactly right. Sanctions don't stop behavior. They don't deter things from happening. Sanctions have an effect over the longer, mid and longer term on the economy, on the Russian economy. And the goal, the idea, is to reduce the ability of the Russian economy to support the war effort. And that's hard to do. You can put export controls on so that the Russians have a hard time getting microchips, but they find ways to get around those things. And so some of the sanctions today are trying to plug those loopholes. All to say, it is a long-term, medium to long-term effort on the sanctions. The short-term effort, of course, is what you've also been talking about, and that is getting the weapons to the Ukrainians right now.
Yeah, if they can continue to buy weapons from China and from Iran and North Korea, how much can we really stop? The sanctions just feel like they're not really working.
Well, just one point there. Turns out they're not buying weapons from China. You're right, they are buying from North Korea and Iran. The Chinese are in a funny position. They don't want to violate the sanctions on selling arms to the Russians, because they'll be sanctioned if they do.
So they're just buying a lot of oil and giving the Russians cash.
They are buying a lot of oil. You're exactly right. The Indians as well, buying a lot of cheap oil. Right. So that is coming in. That is definitely coming in.
All right, I got to ask you, why hasn't the U.S. taken more aggressive measures, like seizing that $300 billion worth of Russian assets that have been frozen in banks now for 2 years? That's sitting there.
It's sitting there. It's there to be taken. You're exactly right. I totally agree. And I think the administration is coming around to that. The Congress is supportive.
What are they waiting for?
All of these things, well, one of the things they're waiting for is to be sure that they have all their allies on board. If one nation does, if we were to seize those funds, the worry is that the Russians or the Chinese or others would move money, deposits from American banks, U.S. banks, to, say, British banks. But if the Brits are going to do the same thing we are, and the same thing with the rest of the Europeans, then the Russians, Chinese don't have any other place to move their money. So that's part of the process of getting other nations on board.
Yeah, well, many are saying that money should be confiscated with our allies and then given to Ukraine to pay for all the damage that Putin caused there with this war effort. He broke it, he can fix it. Biden today again called for Congress to come back from its 2-week vacation and vote on aid to Ukraine. What is this delay doing to the Ukrainian war effort?
We see it. We see it very clearly. Avdiivka. The Ukrainians had to pull back. Why? Because they didn't have the ammunition, the artillery, the air defense. They were not able to hold on to that city, that small little town that they've been fighting for and defending for 10 years. 10 years the Russians have been trying to get that, and the Ukrainians have defended. They had to pull back. Why? Because they don't have the assurance that the weapons and the ammunition are coming in. So it's having an immediate effect that we can see on the ground right now.
Yeah, and that town, that small town of 30,000 people, utterly decimated. The prize, after all that fighting for Russia, ruins. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.